I have been a hockey fan since 1960. I saw Rocket Richard's last goal, Jean Beliveau's 400th, Wayne Gretzky's first and last of an amazing 1,016 goals. I saw Bobby Orr score 4 goals in a game as a junior against the Montreal Junior Canadiens. He was only 14 years old. I have watched or listened to the vast majority of Canadiens games and countless others. I was there at the Forum on that horrible night in 1972 when the Soviets beat Team Canada 7-3. Over the years, hockey has provided me with a multitude of pleasurable moments, but there are some moments I do not enjoy. The fights. To me, fighting in the game is a real downer, and now we learn that it is a downer in more ways than one. Researchers at Columbia University Medical Center in New York examined statistics of NHL games between 1967 and 2022. Since fighting is assessed a 5-minute penalty, they were able to count the number of fights in which individual players engaged and were able to identify a cohort of players who had participated in more than 50 fights throughout their career. There were 331 pugilists who were then age-matched with the same number of less belligerent controls. So far, 13 of the fighters and 14 players in the control group have died. But the fighters died 10 years earlier. Furthermore, they died more often of drug overdose, suicide when compared with age-matched controls. In fights, fists slam into heads, and that results in potential injury to the brain. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CME, is a condition associated with repeated blows to the head and is characterized by memory loss, confusion, impaired judgment, impulse control problems, aggression, depression, anxiety, suicidality, parkinsonism, eventually progressive dementia. While football players who often butt heads and soccer players who head the ball have been shown to be more prone to CME, this is the first time that hockey fights have been associated with the condition. Henri Richard, the pocket rocket, who died at age 84, donated his brain to research and has been posthumously diagnosed with having had CME. A defining characteristic of the condition is an abnormal form of a protein known as tau in the brain. When this undergoes a chemical reaction known as phosphorylation, it forms tangles that gum up the brain. These tangles are one of the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Henri Richard was not a fighter, but hockey is a rough game, even without fights. Body checking can also jar the head and cause the brain to impact the skull. However, body checking is an integral part of the game, and if eliminated, the game would suffer. Fighting, on the other hand, can and should be eliminated. Indeed, hockey is the only sport that allows fighting, and its defenders say that it attracts fans. Well, gladiators in ancient Rome also attracted fans. The evidence is clear. Hockey fights impact players' health and should be eliminated. First step, instead of 5-minute penalty, ejection from the game. Hockey is too good a game to be marred by players' lives being shortened because of fisticuffs that some claim are part of the game. It is a part we can do without. And that for today is our Cup of Joe.